Sup guys, dinofries here, and I had the opportunity to participate in the alpha test of Lumari, an upcoming social sandbox adventure game where you tame monsters that battle alongside you. So let's talk about it. So unfortunately, I cannot show you any screenshots or videos from the game just yet, as I am under NDA, but I can share with you what I experienced in my hour of playtime, and shout out to the developers at Proxima who confirmed it's okay for me to do so. Okay, so in Lumari, you play as Nalia, a girl who has the power to control spirits, known as, you guessed it, Lumari. So Nalia herself, you can attack and you can dash, as well as sprint and jump. You move around with WASD, sprint is shift, jump is spacebar, attack is your left click, dash is your right click, and then so attacking is like a 3-hit combo, and dash has a short cooldown. Then on the fly, you can switch to your Lumari. They are creatures that harness a certain element, and in the playtest, you're only able to acquire the fire one and the water one. The fire one looks like a cat, monkey, flying squirrel, has a fireball attack, which you aim using a crosshair and can hold it down for more power until letting it go. And you could fly with the fire one. You jump into the air and you glide around. As for the water one, it kind of looks like a dragon dog. It has a splash, short range attack that can't be charged up, and it has a ground slam attack that has AoE, but leaves you vulnerable until it goes off. So right into it, my impressions of the combat, they're good, albeit kind of bare. This is the alpha, of course, so things could and likely will change. I personally wish Nalia could like roll around to dodge attacks, as you really can only walk or sprint to avoid enemy offense, which feels slow, especially considering the dash has a 6-second cooldown. There's also only one attack at your disposal, which feels good, but they really should add more to keep things interesting. And then like when you switch to your Lumari, it doesn't get much better, just different. So like I said, with the fire one, you shoot fireballs, but you can't really dodge because you don't even have your dash at this point. So you're just walking or sprinting around, or using the fly skill, but that kind of feels janky. The water Lumari felt better. That was my favorite of the two, and between Nalia herself, because I liked having 2 attacks instead of 1. But then again, like you can't really dodge enemy projectiles or attacks or anything because you can't roll dodge and you don't have the dash skill. So fighting felt slow, but all things considered, I liked the scale animations. Everything felt pretty impactful, and I thought it was fun to be able to switch between Nalia, the fire one, and the water one, depending on the elemental effectiveness of the enemies that you were fighting. As for the world itself, it's really pretty. The graphics aren't like astounding, but they're solid. They're kind of like Genshin Impact, but like with a way less budget. But I mean, this is an indie game, no big deal. As long as the graphics are good, in my opinion, that's fine. I mean, the game doesn't need to look good. Lumari does look good. It's the gameplay and like the core elements of the game that really matter. The graphics, in my opinion, just need to look good and be passing, and they nailed it there. So what you do in the game, like I'm gonna explain to you the gameplay loop. You travel to different zones from your homestead. In the playtest, there's only the fire island and the water island that are available. So you start off with the fire Lumari on the fire island, then you get the water Lumari on the water islands, and in the future, more islands will open up, and each, I believe, has a different kind of Lumari on there to purify, tame. So you like battle them, and then you defeat them, then you purify them. The islands, they have enemies that you fight, which are like shadowy creatures. There's only one enemy type, they all have like different elements imbued with them. There's resources like rocks, trees, plants that you just attack and you get elements. And then sometimes there's chests lying around with special materials that you use to build and craft with at your homestead. And they also like some things you pick up, and your closeness with your Lumari goes up. So that's the gameplay loop. I had fun with it for that hour I was playing, but they definitely got to keep adding things to it to make it more exciting. Again, I had fun. I just, going back and forth, battling bad guys, gathering materials to make my homestead look better. It was cool for an hour. I just hope they add to it, which I'm sure they will. And as I mentioned, the homestead is your base. Here you make a house for yourself, you craft things with the materials you found, and best of all, you build habitats for your Lumari. Now, I'm not much a fan of crafting in games. I'm good with like light crafting, and this game has light crafting. It's not too complicated. It's pretty simple. And I loved making little homes for the Lumari. They all looked unique to their elements, and I thought that was really adorable. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much Lumari. What I experienced in the playtest was fantastic. I mean, given that this is just the alpha stage, as long as the development team like beefs up the combat, adds enough to make that gameplay loop exciting, and obviously like polish things up, I think this game will be a hit. For an indie game, I'm excited. What I especially love about this game, about Lumari, is the bonding you do with your creatures. I know this isn't necessarily like a monster-tamer RPG, because like there's like hundreds of monsters that you like catch and whatever. It seems like this game's only gonna have like a dozen or so, and just allow you to pick which ones you want to take with you and get closer to and build homes for, and like I'm cool with that. I think it's a different kind of twist on the genre. I think it's a social sandbox adventure game. That's what they call it, but when you add monsters into it, I think it really freshens things up. And yeah, I'm excited. I mean, just thinking about having a zoo of elemental animals that I take out on adventures, it sounds fun to me, so I'm hyped to see where this game goes. Anyways, yeah, I mean, let me know what you guys think about Lumari in the comments down below. While you're there, drop me a like, please and thanks, and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, check out my merch. Consider supporting me in my content creation. Get yourself a dinofries t-shirt, and that's it. That's all for me today. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.